like you need to be taken care of. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you a house or something, yo.
So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. He had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Dude, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat you like this.
Oh, he definitely like playing, you know, this nigga.
Jay-Z might not even see part of this song.
So we
Yo,
just had a, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
Things quickly heated up as Uncle Murda's comment became viral on social media. Supporters were divided. Murda was merely being loyal, according to others. Others claimed that he was creating unnecessary drama. However, it was evident that he had no intention of retreating. Murda reiterated on a different live stream, declaring, "I don't care what nobody says. Here are 50 constructed empires. No rapper in the world can disparage that man's hustle." He emphasized that 50 is more than just a rapper. He is a mogul, a businessman, and a man who built a billion-dollar brand around his name. Even if Jim tried, Murda claimed he couldn't match that level of success. He wasn't mistaken either. 50 has been purchasing real estate, managing his own TV company, and gaining influence in Hollywood, while Jim has been flaunting his jewelry and talking street. Murda also brought that up. "Jim always talks about being outside, bro," he remarked. "Bills are not paid when you're outside. Being intelligent does." The remarks were brutal. Fans logically said, "Murder's son Jim." Diss tracks are not required. The hood is where we are from. People don't comprehend Bleek's business when they look at him. They always give Jay a yes look. Hey, talking about it. Jay doesn't care. Jay doesn't have to go on tour with me. Smoke hard coke? Did you hear? Hey, relax. Hey, relax. It appears that you need to be looked after.
We from the hood, so people look at Bleek and don't understand the business he's doing. They always look at Jay like,
Nah. That's why you got like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Smoke hard coke, yo.
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you a house or something, yo.
You
might need 2 ounces.
That's why
Paid in full moon. I got a G for every bump in your face. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Why you worrying about?
However, when Murda brought up Dipset's troubled past, things really took a turn for the worse. He alluded to the fact that Jim and Cameron had a falling out years ago, that there was always friction behind the scenes, and that Dipset was never as cohesive as G-Unit. "We never saw 50 beg anybody for a verse," he added. However, Jim, that man had more flipped hairstyles than he had changed haircuts. Because reputation is everything in the streets, that really got to Harlan Pride. Furthermore, labeling Jim contradictory was equivalent to calling him dishonest. Then the repost appeared. As usual, 50 Cent joined in the fun by hurling gas onto the flames. He captioned a video he posted of Murda discussing Jim, saying, "My guy Murda just said what I was thinking." That was all that was required. After 50 co-signed it, everything became official. Uncle Murda wasn't the only one who spoke. It was Jim Jones versus G-Unit. Blogs began to spin the story as though there was a fresh feud forming, but insiders claim there is more to it than that. It's not just words here. It has to do with loyalty. For years, Murda has been riding with 50 through all the online conflicts, commerce, and scandal. He is among the select handful who have never switched sides or folded. Jim essentially came for the entire camp when he came for 50. Additionally, Murda made sure to inform everyone that although 50's circle may be small, it is
showing up. Making down. That's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. Show up around it. So I mean, you want to get music, right? Because music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you sitting there, keep getting around it, fuck when he come around, how your antennas go off. So he in a position where he might feel like he did.
The story had gone viral by the next day, with titles like "Uncle Murda defends 50 Cent against Jim Jones DVDs" and "G-Unit versus Dipset, the fight returns." Hip-hop blogs began sharing snippets of Uncle Murda's tirades. Even those who were not directly involved began to take sides. Murda voiced what we've all been thinking, according to several supporters. Jim simply spoke too much. He ought to have kept quiet, according to others. It's senior citizens vying for influence. Murda, however, was unconcerned. It isn't clout when you defend family, he said with the same enthusiasm. Jim Jones, meanwhile, finally gave his own response on social media, not directly, but with some polished rhetoric. He wrote, "I don't argue with sidekicks," as the caption for a picture he shared. Fans were fully aware of the person he was referring to. He was essentially attempting to make fun of Murda for playing a 50s enforcer by calling him a sidekick. However, that simply made matters worse. "If I'm a sidekick, you're still the extra in your own movie," Murda retorted with an instant clap. The internet took off. There were memes everywhere. People are comparing hits, arguing about who actually governed New York in their heyday, and posting Dipset versus G-Unit edits. Murda then went further. He brought up how 50 Cent used to show Jim love by yelling him out, inviting him to events, and even giving him props for Dipset's movement. He stated, 50 showed you love when nobody cared, but instead of saying thanks, you threw shade. Since it's true, that part struck a deep chord. Despite the fact that Jim occasionally clowned him, 50 always appreciated his hustle. But that regard became a target once Jim dubbed him cheesy. Murda is now ensuring that he holds him accountable for it.
Bleak, like, Fib look out for you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just want to clear that up. Hov don't have to.
And then he said he eats home halal.
You know what I mean? Right. I'm chewing a lie on my own.
He eats on his own. I eat on my own too.
Right.
I go on my own tour. I just came off tour.
Right.
When have you seen Bleak on tour? On his own. Jay-Z is not a bad guy. Bleak is not a bad guy. I'm not saying. I'm saying to you that Jay-Z was all business with them niggas. When Buck up on his taxes, 50 a piece or more. When Prodigy bought a house and needed more money, 50 a piece or more. Prodigy are paying back. The thing with 50 is, it was business and we was friends. I don't feel like Bleak was Jay-Z friend. I don't feel like Young Guns was Jay-Z friend. It came to a point where
Cameron, who always avoids Jim's mess, was unable to control his reaction. He posted a mysterious message that read, "Everyone wants to be the boss, but nobody wants to pay the cost without taking sides." Supporters immediately attributed that to the feud, claiming that Cam was subtly supporting 50 and Murda. Regardless of its veracity, it gave the narrative a new dimension. Officially, the conflict between Harlem and Queens had devolved into one of pride and perception. Uncle Murda didn't even need to continue speaking at this point. The task was being done for him via the internet. It appeared to be a vintage G-Unit versus Dipset throwback as old interviews, music videos, and drama from the 2000s made a comeback. However, it wasn't about music this time. It concerned who will still be important in 2025.
you know what I mean? That's why I respect him, because we had more of an assist. We had 50 Cent. So I knew I was okay. He sold 11 million records. Even motherfucker, he had deals with Jay-Z and them, but Jay-Z ain't gonna never. Yeah, I always tell him all the time, Jay-Z ain't treat you like this.
Oh, he definitely like, but you know, that's
Jay-Z might not even say harder though.
So we
Yo,
just had the party in Miami with the Kardashians, Serena Williams, and everybody. We just finished performing. Great time, right? First thing my man here want to say, yeah, lit. Jay-Z will never take you to a party like this.
You might get invited.
Nah, I don't get invited.
I respect Jay-Z. I respect Instagram comments, because these people are made to break you. They want to break artists. They want to break you. Nobody believe you. I was in 50 crib, no roaches and all that, being a little spot, small spot. Nobody believed in that. We playing Get Rich or Die Trying already in the crib. He had asked that done. Like, once this go off, then like everybody get confused because they don't think that.
It was evident at the end of the week that Uncle Murda had conveyed his point quite well. The culture appreciated him for standing up for 50 Cent. You had to acknowledge that loyalty like that doesn't exist very often in this industry nowadays, regardless of your opinion of him. Murda didn't do it for publicity or influence. He moved in that manner. Therefore, he did it. Dependable, devoted, and prepared to ride for his people. Fans had been praising him for this reason, stating that Murda is the last of a dying breed. Conversely, Jim Jones appeared irritated. Clown emojis and excerpts from Murda's tirades flooded the comment section whenever he attempted to write something inspirational. "Don't start anything if you can't finish it," said one enthusiast. And that was the ideal way to describe the atmosphere. Jim's attempt to make fun of 50 backfired. Rather than casting 50 in a negative light, it served as a reminder to everyone that Unit was still respected years after their prime. And that's how they differ from one another. 50 created an empire that outlasted international agreements, TV series, spirits brands, and rap feuds. Jim continues to struggle for acceptance in the music industry. During one of his lifetimes, Uncle Murda even said it best: "A man who provided the blueprint for the entire culture cannot be disregarded." And 50 did precisely that. He provided rappers with a business plan that went well beyond just making music. Ultimately, Jim made an effort to clear the air by claiming in a subsequent interview that he had nothing serious against 50 and that it was just a joke. However, it was already too late. 50 didn't have to say much to declare Murda the winner, since the streets already declared it. He let Murda do the talking as he continued to repost memes and observe from the throne. Power is right there. One thing was evident throughout the entire circumstance. When you have warriors who fight for you while you sit back and count checks, clout is never as effective as loyalty. Uncle Murda demonstrated that real people can recognize genuine people regardless of how well known they are. Jim Jones may have check cert of Harlem, but Unit's values remain unwavering. Murda defended the code in addition to 50. And that type of genuineness hits more than any diss track in the modern rap game, where everyone is chasing clicks and faux peace. Uncle Murda delivered the storm, although Jim did throw some shade. One thing was certain as the smoke cleared. In this industry, you may play with a lot of individuals, but you don't play with 50 Cent's name. Not when Uncle Murda was still receiving